The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, a live presentation at that. As I munch on my food, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Why, hi there, my name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 28th day of December, 2023. And the Detroit Tigers come into this Game 4 of our 1972 alternate World Series with a chance to sweep. And the odds and Uncle Mo are heavily in favor of the Tigers. They're going to go with Mickey Lolich, who pitched to Gem in Game 1 and pitched to Gem in Game 4 of the American League Championship Series to put the Tigers over the top. The Reds don't have anybody that can go on 3 days rest. Gary Nolan said, I can't. So it's Tom Hall for the Reds, who, if you watched Game 1 of this World Series, know that it was Hall who kind of exploded in the 15th inning that allowed the Tigers to score those 3 runs to win Game 1. And if the Reds have any other reason to be cranky going in, it's also raining here in Detroit, 58 degrees, in some winds out to center field at 8 miles an hour. So a light rain, the Reds are down 3-0, and they're going to face the ace of the Tiger staff in Mickey Lolich, who's on full rest and can go 9 innings. And so, although logic tells you that everything is heavily in favor of the Tigers, don't you think the Reds might actually do something in this series? We're about to find out. Motown is motoring today. The Tigers just need one more to win the World Series in 1972. As Retro Sports Network presents the 1972 Alternate World Series. Today from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, it is the Detroit Tigers and the Cincinnati Reds. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So here we go. A Tiger win, and it's all over. Let's tell you about Mickey Lolich. Mickey with the start in Game 1. Let's go Reds, we're hearing. Been an interesting series, John, for sure. Mickey 32, fastball 88, and a fly ball pitcher. I got to sneeze. In his Game 1 start, 9 innings, 135 pitches, 5 hit. D. Lando, how are you? Thanks for the follow. I'm going to sneeze here, and then we can continue. 135 pitches. Hello, all. Just listened to Game 3 about an hour ago. Thank you. 135 pitches for Lolich. First-time twitcher. Well, welcome to the program. Lolich allowed 5 hits, walked 3, and struck out 12. The Reds will line up like this. What do you think? New gimmick for this. Joe Morgan leads off at second base. Pete Rose will bat second and play left field. Johnny Bench behind the plate goes third. Tony Perez cleans up at first. Bobby Tolan in center will bat fifth. Dennis Menke at third goes sixth. Darrell Cheney at short for Davey Concepcion will bat seventh. Cesar Geronimo back in the lineup goes eighth. And poor Tom Hall, after gets the call to save the season, he'll bat ninth. Defensively for the Tigers, Willie Horton a 2 and a 5 and left. Mickey Stanley with a lefty on the mound will be in center. He's a 7 and a 5. Al Kaline a 6 and a 6 in right. Aurelio Rodriguez a 9 at third. Eddie Brinkman a 10 at short. Tony Taylor a 5 at second. Norm Cash a 4 at first. Bill Freehan an 8 and a 6 behind the plate, and Lolich is a 3 with a 9.47 fielding percentage. Morgan 3 for 13 in this World Series. He has stolen a base and walked 4 times. Again, a light rain, 58 degrees, And Motown is abuzz to see what the Tigers can do here. We start game 4. With strike 3, Lolich struck out 12 in game 1 and starts game 4 with a 2-2 changeup swung on and missed. Set the Reds to the computer. So here's Rose, 3 for 13 on the series. His 3-run homer in the 5th yesterday made this close. And in fact, Rose, I believe, had the first 2 extra base hits for the Reds in this series. He has a triple and a home run, hitting .231 with 3 RBI. Lolich winds and fires. Slow ground ball to Cash. Norm's got it over to Lolich for the out, 2 away. For Johnny Bench, 3 for 15. He and Rose went back-to-back in the 5th yesterday. Lolich just trying to get through. Got him, and that's 2 for Lolich. A cutter swung on and missed. So the Reds go in order in the first. John is going to unsub to me in about 2 minutes. After half an inning, no score. So Tom Hall made 7 starts for the Reds in 72. He went 10-1. So it's not like he is a bad pitcher at all. In fact, he threw 124 in a third innings. He's 25 years old. The blade throws it hard. A fastball at 97 and an extreme fly ball pitcher, which may or may not be helpful in this park. But in the 15th inning of Game 1, Happy New Year, John Goodell. Hall, in the 15th in Game 1, went 34 pitches, 3 hits, 3 runs, all earned, and walked 2. Here's how the Tigers will line up here in game number 4. Tony Taylor leads off at second. Bill Freehan batting second behind the plate. Al Kaline, he's 4 for 15 on the series. I like how this is set up, don't you? Will go third and right. Norm Cash cleans up at first. He finally drove in a couple runs yesterday. Willie Horton will bat 5th and play left field. Mickey Stanley will go 6th in center. Aurelio Rodriguez batting 7th will play 3rd. Eddie Brinkman at short goes 8th. Mickey Lolich will go 9th on the mound, and Tom Hall. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Gets the call on the mound. Defensively for the Reds, Pete Rose an 8 and a 6 in left. Bobby Tolan an 8 and a 5 in center. Cesar Geronimo back in the lineup today, an 8 and a 9 in right. Dennis Minke a 4 at third. Darrell Cheney a 4 at short. He's in here for his bat. Joe Morgan an 8 at second. Tony Perez a 6 at first. Johnny Bench a 10 and a 9 behind the plate. And as we've said, between Bench and Freehan, that's the best 2 catchers in baseball in 1972. Tom Hall is a 3 on the mound with an 8.33 ERA. Really, for the Reds, it is a Johnny Holstaff game. Taylor, who made 2 errors in Game 3, 2 for 6 on the series, has singled twice and scored twice. And Hall starts Game 4. Strike 3. He got him. A changeup took something off it on a 1-2 for strike 3. Hall does strike out batters. In 124 and a third, he whiffed 134 in real life. Freehan 4 for 9 on the series. 4 singles, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Hall winds and fires. That's into right center. Tolan moving over. And Bobby will make the catch, 2 out. So here's Kaline. Al 4 for 15 on the series. 2 doubles, a homer, and 4 RBI. Hall dodging the raindrops, winds and fires, and that's into left center field, and that's gone. Al Kaline has hit his 2nd home run of the World Series, and the Tigers lead this one 1-0. 368 feet. And he's making the bid to be the MVP of this series. How you doing, Scotty? So K-line homers for Norm Cash, who was 1 for 12 with 2 RBI. He has walked twice and struck out once. So the Tigers strike first here in Game 4. If the Tigers win, the 1962 National League playoff will start on New Year's Day at noon Eastern. And I forget where that started. If the Reds win, Game 5 will be New Year's at noon. Pitch to Cash. Norm into center. Tolan, that's well struck, but it's a big park, and Bobby will make the catch to retire the side. So out K-line, a solo home run. And the Tigers, after one, lead it 1-0. So Perez, Tolan, and Menke to face Lolich, who now has thrown 10 scoreless innings in the series. Tony 2 for 13, a single and a double. He has struck out 7 times over the first 3 games. Pitch from Lolich. Ground ball to third. Rodriguez with a web gem from his knees over to Cash, and there's 1 out. What a great play by Aurelio Rodriguez. Here's Bobby Tolan. Bobby has pretty much been the Reds' offense. He is 4 for 11 on the series, hitting .364, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts. And that's down the opposite way. Horton's going to have to fish it out. Tolan's got good speed. Bobby's got 2. The throw into Taylor is going to be cut off by Brinkman. And that's another hit for Tolan, who has been really the only one to solve the Tigers' pitchers. He's hitting .417 on the series. Here's Menke. Dennis 2 for 13 with 4 strikeouts. So the tying run on for the Reds here. 1 out in the top of the second. And that's a ground ball left side. Horton in shallow left will pick it up. Tolan will put the brakes on. And it's 1st and 3rd and 1 out for Darrell Chaney. Oof, those numbers are horrible. 1 for 7 on the series with a walk and a strikeout. Lolich wants 2. Might get it. Rodriguez down the line. They'll concede the run. They'll get Menke at second. Chaney's going to reach as the throw is late. And the Reds have done something that they haven't done the first 3 games. They have tied this game at 1. So here's Geronimo, 1 for 9. They were looking for the defense here. Got him. So the Reds get a run on 2 hits and no errors. And after an inning and a half here in Game 4, it's the Reds 1, the Tigers 1. So Horton, Stanley, and Rodriguez to face Hall. Willie 2 for 10. A single twice and scored once. So a preliminary date for us to start the, how you doing, Andrew? The 88 season would be January 8th. And it will be the Twins and the Yankees from Yankee Stadium to start the 88 replay. Pitch to Horton. Struck him out. That's 2 for Hall. He throws it hard, and Horton chased a hard fastball. Here's Stanley. Mickey 1 for 6. A double, 2 RBI. And that ball is long gone. An upper deck shot to right center field, and the Tigers go back up 2-1. And Hall is hurt. And he's done. So Jim McLaughlin who came in to pitch yesterday in long relief, gets a long relief call again today. Stanley just absolutely torched that one. And if you're a Tiger fan, Stanley certainly helps you do things right. So McLaughlin came in yesterday. He pitched 1 inning. In fact, he's due up to lead off the third for Cincinnati. 19 pitches, 2 hits, a run. It was earning a walk. Throws a fastball 86, standard pitcher, and is 29 years old. Midlife crisis is about to write my congressman to get me impeached, right? No more Reds games for me. Here's Rodriguez. Aurelio 5 for 14 on the series. He homered yesterday in the first to chase Ross Grimsley. Strikes out. A 1-2 fastball got him swinging. So poor Tom Hall gives up 2 solo shots here and gets hurt. Eddie Brinkman 2 for 12, hitting 167 on the series, which is better than what he did against Oakland. Into left center field. Back goes Rose and Tolan, and that is off the wall. Eddie Brinkman is into second standing, and the Tigers are just having the time of their lives right now. So here's Lolich. He went 0 for 2 in game 1 with a strikeout. McLaughlin deals. Ground ball to Cheney. Darrell will throw it over to first, and that'll do it. But another costly inning for the Reds on the solo homer by Mickey Stanley. Yeah, thanks for that, Andrew. They really are nice. So the solo homer, 2 hits, no errors. And after 2, John says there's no stopping this Bengal buzzsaw. It's 2-1 Detroit. So let's see what the Reds do with McLaughlin. Uncle Bo is wearing tiger blue. McLaughlin, if he bats, 174 with a solo homer in 72. Stays in the game, pops it up right side. K-line, 1 out. Yeah, it really is Al Kaline. And my buddy, who I used to work for, that was his childhood hero. His birthday was yesterday, and if the Tigers win, I'll be sending him the link to this game. But K-line in game 4 just kind of caught fire in that ALCS, and they've ridden that all the way through. Joe Morgan is 0 for 1. He struck out to start the game. Opening 9 for Lolich, 35 pitches, 2 1/3, 2 hits and 3 strikeouts. Nobody out, nobody on, 1 out here in the third. Drops one down. Freehand throws to Taylor covering for the out. So 2 away for Rose, who's 0 for 1. I thought when Rose hit the big home run yesterday that the Reds had found something. They didn't. Peter Edwards slaps this one into right center for a single. 3rd hit for the Reds. And so here's Bench, who struck out his first time up. Rose on first. 56 degrees. That wind is now shifted out to blowing out to right at 8. Bench, left center. Stanley dodges the drops, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Reds get a hit, and that's it. No runs, no errors. They leave on 1, and after 2.5, Tigers 2, Cincinnati 1. So Taylor, Freehand, and K-line. Tony struck out his first time up to start the ball game. McLaughlin starts the third. Taylor rips this one into right. Geronimo will pick it up. And that's a single. 4th hit for the Tigers. Here's Freehand, who's 0 for 1. when I figured to do this series, I never thought that we'd be in this position. I wasn't quite sure how good Cincinnati would be. And you can't say that they haven't. I mean, game one was epic. 15 innings. Chopper down to first. Perez takes it to the bag himself. Taylor too fast. He'll go to second. And now will bring up K-Line with one out. Al, a monster shot. His second of the series. He's now driven in 5. And if the Tigers win, you got to think he's the MVP. Struck him out. McLaughlin got him to chase an 0-2 fastball. So 2 out for Cash, who's 0 for 1. That's a big out. If you're a Red fan, 1 game at a time, 1 inning at a time, 1 batter at a time. Remember, they took the A's to Game 7 in real life. And they're going to walk Norm Cash for Willie Horton. That's an interesting play, considering Cash has done nothing in this series. So first and second for Horton, who struck out his first time up. Logic says that might not have been the best move. Let's see. In the right center. That'll stay in the yard. Tolan tracks it down, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit. Worked for the Reds. The Tigers leave on 2. We go to the 4th here in Game 4. Detroit 2, Cincinnati 1. So Perez, Tolan, and Menke to face Lolich here in the 4th. Tony's 0 for 1. And he draws the walk. 1-run cushion doesn't leave Lolich a lot of room. And the danger is Tolan at the plate. Doubled his first time up. Perez not a threat to steal. Might be 2 here. Rodriguez, a great play. Taylor for 1. Tolan will beat it out. But they robbed Tolan of a hit. And Rodriguez is earning that great reputation he has as a third baseman. Of course, in this era, Brooks Robinson is still king. But Rodriguez saved another hit. So 1 out for Menke, who singled his first time up. Chopper down to Cash. Norm takes it to the bag, and Menke is retired. 2 out, but Tolan moves into scoring position for Cheney, who has an RBI. Ground ball to Brinkman. Has to run around Tolan. The throw to Cash. It's going to be close, and Cheney beats it out. So an infield single. Tolan didn't interfere, but it was one of those in-between hops that Brinkman just couldn't go full bore because you don't want to hit the runner. So first and third, 2 out for Geronimo, who struck out his first time up. Lolich, 2 out. Wind blowing hard out to right now at 14. Winds and fires. Struck him out. That's 4 for Lolich. Geronimo swung and freehand held on to it. No runs. The Reds have left on 4. And after 3.5, it's 2-1 Detroit. So here's how this series has played out. That epic in Game 1, the Tigers 3-0 in 15, Lolich fanning 12. In Game 2, 1-0 Detroit. Then the series had the off day, and then last night, if you were watching, the Tigers just pounded the Reds 9-5, although the Reds made it close. Billy Freehand with 3 hits. He's coming into this game hitting .444. And what a job by Seelbach to get out of that jam in the 6th last night and finish up. So here's Stanley. Stanley homered his last time up to make it 2-1. Struck him out. That's 3 for McLaughlin. His homer off of Hall was the end of Hall's day. We're hearing it's a blister on his pitching finger, on his index finger, and that was it. So the 0-2 fastball, 3 strikeouts now for McLaughlin. Here's Rodriguez, who struck out his first time up. And that's a base hit into right center field. That's going to drop. Geronimo will cut it off. And that's the 5th Tiger hit. Eddie Brinkman has a double. 3 for 13 on the series. And you know things are going right when your no-hit, all-glove shortstop is popping hits. Yep, he has all winter to heal up perhaps. They show him with the Mets. That's not anyone I remember. But there's a number of young pitchers on both sides that suffered from injuries. And, of course, you look at Gary Nolan, who had such a promising young career with the Reds. Don Gullett with the Reds. Pitch to Brinkman. Ground ball to Cheney, might be 2. Takes it to the bag for 1 and throws to first. And Brinkman beat it out. Eddie Brinkman, have yourself a day. He'll reach on the fielder's choice. 2 out for Lolich, who's 0 for 1. McLaughlin deals. Struck him out. That's 4 for Jim. No runs, a hit, and no errors. And we go to the 5th here in Game 4. It's still Detroit 2, Cincinnati 1. So let's see what the Reds do with Jim McLaughlin here. He's 0 for 1. He's on 44 pitches and has held the Tigers at bay here. Both of the runs were charged to Hall. Whatever happened to Tom Hall anyway? He stays into center. Stanley, 1 out. Lolich is also a former Met. Traded Rusty Staub for him. That would be pretty unforgivable. I remember Lolich with the Padres back when jelly donuts were his best friend. Lolich opening 18, 66 pitches, 4 1/3, 4 hits, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. The run is earned. Joe Morgan is 0 for 2. He has struck out. You know, yeah, I made that joke in Game 1. Tom Hall became a country music star. I love coffee in a mug. No, that's not Tom T. Hall. Pitch to Morgan. And that's going to be looped over Cash right in front of K-line. And Joe's on with a single. So 1 out single for Rose, who has a single himself. He's 1 for 2. Throw to first. And Morgan's back. Pitch out. There goes Morgan. The throw down into second is in time. They got him. So Freehand throws him out. You just get the sense that Destiny is wearing a Tiger hat. The 1-0 to Rose. And he draws the walk. Second walk for Lolich. Here's Bench. Johnny 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Lolich and Freehand changed some signs around. How you doing, Mr. Waterfield? And we've had a rain delay here for 57 minutes. And so we're going to change some pitchers. So the Reds' agony and ecstasy gets to go on hold here. So Lolich's day is done. And we're going to go with Tom Timmerman. Timmerman, given all the time in the world he needs to warm up. He was the hero of Game 5 in the A series. 32 years old, fastball 85. 8-10 with a 2.89 ERA. 149 and 2/3 innings, 121 hits, 12 homers allowed. He walked 41, struck out 88. So, a solo homer by Al Kaline in the first, and then a solo shot from Mickey Stanley in the second. That's how the Tigers had their runs. Rotator cuff in 77 with the Royals. Hall threw his last pitch before the age of 30. Ouch. Ouch. So we waited a bit for Johnny Bench, about an hour. Johnny 0 for 2 with a strikeout. So McLaughlin will be coming out. And Timmerman, if he can get you 3, that'd be great. Pitch to Bench. In the left center, Stanley, that's a rainmaker, makes the catch, and that'll do it. Pedro Borbon coming in to pitch halfway home on a rainy day in Burlington. The Tigers are 12 outs away. They're up 2-1. Well, if you joined us late, the Tigers have a 2-1 lead here in the 5th inning. I think Kaline will be the MVP if they win this today. The solo homer in the first. If you joined us late, put them up 1-0. Darryl Chaney hit a ground ball to tie the game in the second. And Tom Hall gave up a monster shot to Mickey Stanley in the bottom of the inning and then got hurt. And then we just had a 57-minute rain delay. Johnny Bench at the plate. And that's where we stand, 2-1. Hall tore his rotator cuff in 77 with the Royals and threw his last pitch before he turned 30, or at the age of 30. Then became a mail carrier and retired after 21 years. So McLaughlin's day will be done as Pedro Borbon comes in. The Reds needed someone to go long. Lolich 4 2/3. The rain knocked him out. It wasn't performance. 5 hits. A run it was earned. He walked 2 and struck out 4. Borbon pitched in game 1, 3 innings, 35 pitches, 3 hits, and 2 strikeouts. He's 26, curveball at 85. And the ground ball pitcher, and with the injury and the rain, it's the Reds' 3rd pitcher of the afternoon. Tony Taylor 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. So, yeah, I think the Tigers can go 7 straight. Ball 4. Borbon, by the way, is 7, an .880 fielding percentage, and he goes in the 9 slot. Here's Freehan, 0 for 2 today. Taylor with good speed. Still a 1-run game here in the 5th. And they throw to first, and Taylor has been picked off. So Taylor, he made 2 errors in the field yesterday and then got caught leaning the wrong way here. So here's Freehan now with nobody on and 1 out. Taylor shaking his head. Freehan is 0 for 2. Borbon's pitch. Fly ball, left field. Back goes Rose, and Pete will track that one down. 2 out. Some butterflies, of course, with the championship on the line. Al Kaline has struck out and homered. Borbon's pitch. Chopper to Chaney. Darryl has it. Throws to Perez, and Kaline is retired. So we go to the 6th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Tigers 3, or Tigers 2, Reds 1. Borbon's son pitched for the Braves. So you can see what happens when there's no picture for the pitcher. You don't get a batter pitcher either. That's interesting. Perez is 0 for 1 with a walk. Timmerman deals. That's laced into center field in front of Stanley. Tony for 2. He's in there with a double. So the tying run and scoring position for Bobby Tolan, that can be changed. I have so many pictures. Tolan 1 for 2. A double and a run scored. And there's a ground ball to Taylor. Perez moves to third for the out. There's not many people that don't have a picture. I'm not worried. Here's Menke, who's 1 for 2. Perez, a tying run. Infield will play for the play at the plate. Timmerman's pitch. Struck him out. Oh, that was big. A 1-2 curve in there at the knees. Got him looking. So here's Cheney. Darrell 1 for 2. A single. And an RBI. That was big. Like seal blocking the 6 yesterday. So 2 out. Big, big, big indeed. However, Cheney has the advantage here. Pitch to Darrell. Line drive. Rodriguez is there, and that will retire the side. No runs. 1 hit. The Reds have left on 6 after 5.5. Detroit 2. Cincinnati 1. So Cash, Horton, and Stanley here in the 6th. The word I would use for this Tiger team is plucky. They just do what they need to do. I mean, if you go back, Oakland put 14 up on them in the first 2 games. They both were 7-0 shutouts. Got him. So Cash looks at a 1-2 fastball for strike 3. Here's Horton. Willie 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And then since then, they really haven't looked back. You hate to say that Game 1 decided the series. Of course, this isn't over yet. But as with the case in 1988, when you have something monumental happen in a Game 1, it can just knock you off the rest of the way. And the Tigers are much like their manager, plucky. It's too bad that the International Brotherhood of Airport Urinals pulled their sponsorship for this game. Horton hits a slow ground ball to short. Cheney over to Perez. And Horton's retired. So 2 out for Stanley, who homered in the 2nd. Detroit would like 1 more run just to have some breathing room. In the left center, Tolan will make the catch, and we have played 6. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the 7th here in Game 4. Tigers 2, Reds 1. So Geronimo will see if it's Bourbon, and then Joe Morgan. And Cesar is 0 for 2. He has fanned twice. Yes, Chris, makes him appreciate a good team that had to deal with the O's of the time. Absolutely. Pitch to Geronimo. Ground ball to Brinkman. Eddie, good stop. Throws to Cash for the out. 1 away. So let's see what they do with Bourbon. He went 1 for 21 in 72. Ted Eulander will come in to pinch hit. Eulander came in to play yesterday, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 1 out, Timmerman deals. Center field, Stanley coming in, 2 out. Makes a great diving stop on the grass and tips his cap to the crowd. Here's Morgan. Joe is 1 for 3 with a strikeout. The Oakland beat Cincinnati without Reggie says something too. Oh, absolutely. Well, tennis had that great World Series into 4 home runs. Timmerman deals. Slow ground ball to Brinkman. Eddie's got to hurry. Morgan's running. The throw is in time. They got him. Stretch 2-1. Ed Sprague gets a call for the Reds. He's 27, fastball pitcher at 88, and a fly ball plus pitcher. 33 appearances, 3-3 with a 4.13 ERA. Yeah, Brinkman being healthy certainly helps. Eddie went 56 2/3 for the Reds. 55 hits, 6 homers. He walked 26 and struck out 25. Rodriguez 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. Ground ball to Cheney. Darrell over to Perez for the out, 1 away. So here's Eddie Brinkman, 1 for 2, a double. Brinkman in good glove. You don't need to hit, you just need to field. Ground ball to Cheney, second verse. Same as the first, 2 out. Timmerman's going to stay in the game. He went 6 for 44 in 72 with an RBI. He laces this to left. Rose is there, and Sprague has a clean 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors. They're feeling it now here in Detroit after 7, 2-1 Tigers. So Rose, Bench, and Perez. The heart of the order now for Cincinnati. To face Timmerman. Remember, Timmerman pitched so well in the clincher against the A's. And if you're wondering about bullpen, you got Hiller, and you got Seelbach, and you got Slayback. So there's plenty of good arms. Once we get that thing. Mr. Waterfield's getting that Canadian Tire bag out. 6 more outs. Hits to Rose. Ground ball to Taylor. Tony's got it. Throws to Cash. 1 out. And since we're in Detroit, they are ringing the field with 73 model year Ford, Chevrolet, and Chryslers. Johnny Bench is 0 for 3. The Lions, of course, will play here, and they don't want the field to get torn up. Timmerman. How you doing, Big Dave? Maybe for the 9th, I want Taylor to bat 1 more time. Popped up. Right side. K-line. 2 out. How you doing, Big Dave? Here's Perez. Tony 1 for 2. A double and a walk. Timmerman deals. Into center field. In comes Stanley, and the Tigers are 3 outs away. How about that, boys and girls? No runs, no hits, no errors. To the 8th we go. 2-1 Tigers. Timmerman has pitched well, and pitch count-wise, he can close this out. So Taylor will bat. Oh, yeah. I've seen some of those films. Not video, films of some of those old Lions games at Tiger Stadium. Certainly would be mud wrestling for sure. Tony Taylor has walked, struck out, and singled. He's 1 for 2. Sprague pitched a clean 7. Tigers only have 5 hits. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Reds. They've left on 6. Tigers 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and they've left on 4. Chopper to third, Menke across the way, 1 out. This one's flown. We're only a quarter of 1. Did much of that overlap? Well, the Tigers made the World Series in '68. So yeah, Pontiac, the Silverdome opened in '75, right? So for all those years, they did overlap a little bit. Here's Freehand 0 for 3. And of course, agronomy has grown by leaps and bounds. I'm not even sure if these places even resodded the infields once we got into football season, if it was just mud the rest of the way. Freehand is 0 for 3. Laces this to left. Rose is there, 2 out. So here's Kaline, and he's getting a standing ovation. Tolan, Menke, and Cheney for the Reds in the 9th. Kaline homered in the 1st, and if they win, he is the World Series MVP. Sprague deals. That's popped up right side. Morgan, a rainmaker, and that'll do it. McAuliffe isn't any better, Chris. I'll let you decide what you want to do here. Taylor has the best range. Dave's falling asleep. Do you want me to pull Taylor or no? Well, those errors were yesterday. No one's made an error today. So Tom Timmerman, 3 outs away. Reds need 1 to tie, 2 to go ahead. It's Tolan, Menke, and Cheney. Bobby 1 for 3 has doubled and scored the lone run for the Reds in the 2nd. Timmerman starts the 9th. Ground ball to Tom. Over to Cash. 1 out. So Menke is 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Deep breath. And Hal McRae is going to pinch hit. McRae in the series, 1 for 3 with a double. Here's the pitch. Left field, Horton coming in, 2 out. So the Tigers are 1 out away. 54,000 rises 1. We'll see what they do with Darrell Cheney. 1 for 3. He has singled and driven in a run. So the Tigers are knocking on the door for what would be their 2nd championship in 5 years. Timmerman. He's got Mr. Waterfield's Canadian Tire bag on the mound with him. He's taking some deep breaths. 49 degrees, winds blowing out to right at 20. Cheney would love to rip this one down. Timmerman winds and fires, and that's a base hit in the left center field. That dropped in between Brinkman and Stanley, and the tying run is on. And Concepcion is going to pinch run. Here's Cesar Geronimo, 0 for 3. He has struck out twice. So if Geronimo reaches, then it's Sprague, who will be pinch hit for, and then we would probably pull Timmerman. But Timmerman is going to get the chance to finish this one out. Ground ball to Brinkman. He's got, no, it's an infield hit. He got a late jump, and the Reds have 2-1 and 2 out. So Brinkman, who has done so well in this series, made the bad play. So you know Sprague isn't going to bat. He went 0 for 7, by the way. Bernie Carbo. John Hiller. So Hiller has pitched once in this series, 29 years old, fastball at 87, and a ground ball plus pitcher. He pitched yesterday in that 9-5 win. 18 pitches, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He just needs 1 out. Carbo, 0 for 1. So Concepcion, with good speed, would tie the ball game on a single. If we go to the bottom of the 9th, it's Cash, Horton, and Stanley. But John Hiller wants to end it right here. And of course, Carbo, in 1975, did his magic. He hit a pinch hit 3-run homer to tie Game 6 in the 8th inning against these Reds. So Hiller is ready, and so is Carbo. And so everybody up again. Hiller from the stretch. And Joe Haig is going to pinch hit. So all that set up for nothing as Carbo just has his name announced, gets his picture taken, and gets sent back to the bench. Joe Haig has not had an official at-bat in the series. He's walked once. 246, 4 homers, and 20 RBI. So they stick with a lefty pinch hitter. Once again, 2 out. Concepcion on second, Geronimo on first. Hiller trying to lock down the World Series for the Tigers. From the stretch, popped up. Freehand doffs the mask. Is he going to have room? Yes, he does! And the Tigers have won the World Series. Freehand leaps into the air. Ball in his hand. And they mob him. It is a sweep. The Tigers, their second championship in 5 years, and they sweep the Reds. 2-1. And the series 4-0. Is that the same play that ended it in 68? That's cool. So the Tigers get the championship. 2 hours and 28 minutes minus, or add that 57-minute rain delay. A foul out to Freehand. Reds fans say rigged. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Tigers. They left on 4. The Reds, a run on 8 hits. They left on 8. They left on a ton of runners in this series. Timmerman gets the win because Lolich got rain delayed out. 4 innings for Tom, 3 hits and a strikeout. So Timmerman's 2 appearances in critical situations, and he got wins. Oh, my pleasure, Chris. My pleasure. Hiller gets the 1-out save. Poor Tom Hall. He pitched the 15th and got nailed in Cincinnati, and then gave up the 2 home runs today and loses. Gary Nolan, by the way, could not go on 3 days rest. McLaughlin, Bourbon, and Sprague held the Tigers off the board for all that time. 6 2/3 shutout innings. So the world champions in 1972, oh yeah, mix up for the Pistons season, oof, are the Detroit Tigers. Kaline, Stanley, Lolich, Horton, Cash get their 2nd ring. Hey, thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you New Year's Day for the Dodgers and the Giants. And then the week after, we start 1988. Thank you so much. These have been fun. And again, Jamie, the odds of them all being so quick are pretty low, but they were. Tigers, the champions of 72. Have a safe weekend. We hope to talk to you Sunday night on Dave's channel to ring in the new year. So long, everybody.